I want to talk really briefly about distributors and why having more than one distributor is a good idea. Now, I think a lot of us, or me anyway, I take for granted that a lot of people would understand why it's a good idea, but there's a lot of misinformation out there, a lot of kind of myth type stuff out there. And it's good to just kind of go through the basics. So let's do that together, and maybe you'll have some of your own ideas. That'd be great too. But let's talk about it. Hey everybody, this is Perch. If you can't tell from the headphone, I'm on the road, but I'm excited because somebody sent me a little blog article about how to do good audio quality from a car, where you get some good noise canceling, you get some good road noise out, and it doesn't create that metallic kind of sound. You can probably hear my voice, so I'm excited about that. Maybe, just maybe, happy days are coming with good audio. Can you imagine such a thing? It's hard to believe, folks, but anyway, I like recording the videos on my iPhone, and that's another problem. Kind of the ingestion of audio is not always the best with that. But anyway, it is what it is. So hopefully some better solutions could take place. Anyway, for some of us who have been following this diamond distribution story for a while this year, and very quickly, too long didn't read version. Earlier this year, DC Comics, not wanting to wait when Diamond had done its shutdown, basically helped kind of formulate or encourage two other distributors to enter the picture through Midtown and Discount Comic Book Service named UCS and Lunar. And these new distributors basically got a commitment that DC would work with them, thus took the financial risk and startup costs of creating this distribution and getting into this business, which is reasonable. I think for anyone new as a distributor into the business, you're going to have a commitment from Marvel or DC in order to make it financially worth your while. And even there, if you only got one of those two, you'd need to have some other background business to lean back on. That's why Midtown and Discount Comic Book Service were good picks to do this, because they had a lot of the infrastructure set up already. They weren't starting from scratch, and they're willing to make some financial risk in order to go into this business because it complemented what they already had. That's one of those things that some people kind of overlook as they've been worried about them being competitors. And we'll also learn through this process that DC had some longer term concerns about Diamond that had kind of come to light and basically help precipitate DC to make the step, to take the plunge, if you will, and move on, which they did. And so I want to stake the claim that this is good for the industry, and for one reason. It's good for the industry because additional points of failure, basically not counting on one choke point, is going to help bring stability to an unstable market and an unstable time. What I mean by that is retail in general is suffering. Paper goods and kind of the whole printing and distribution, all that is not at its strongest right now. So having more people with financial vested interest in making that work is a good thing. It's going to mean that better decisions are going to get made. It's going to mean that, well, not necessarily better decisions are going to get made, but more decisions are made. And generally, if you have more options rather than one, it protects you a little bit from catastrophic events. Diamond had financial issues going into this. They had missed payments. They had an antiquated distribution system in a lot of cases. How antiquated, it's up to you to kind of determine that, but there were issues with it. And so it put a lot of risk on that entity to survive, to do well. So that's why it's good that there's more distributors. In general, look at it this way. If you have a single distributor, single point of failure for any pieces of content, and then a significant member of the management chain gets sick, or there's a fire in the warehouse or any of that, it could basically wipe out all the people that are dependent on that single distributor. And it's why you wouldn't want to have only one airline in the US, or one car manufacturer, or one giant online retailer. Well, I guess we do have that, but you wouldn't want that. That's that protects basically from unforeseen circumstances coming along. And in most cases, businesses are, and it happened in the past, actually funded their competition at times because they know that to have a healthy ecosystem, to have a stable business, that you need to have multiple people playing in it, even if some of those people are making money against you or in competition with you. It's better overall to have that kind of environment to protect yourself from your own mistakes. Um, you put it this way, I'll kind of describe it another way. Let's say you've got Diamond, only Diamond, and they're distributing comics, and then suddenly a major disaster, a pandemic or something hits. They can't distribute comics for 3 months, so nothing gets distributed. And let's say Diamond is at the center of this, and they are forced to quit. They have no choice but to close down during this period. Well, during that 3 months, some people will stop buying comics. Some stores will close. When the 3 months is over, Diamond will find that its market has shrunk, that there are fewer people buying comics, maybe fewer places selling comics. And that's bad for Diamond's business. But now let's say in a different scenario that Diamond is forced to shut down. They have no choice. Their business is located at the epicenter of the virus, let's say, and they have no choice but to close for 3 months. But there is a second distributor selling comics, keeping those comics trickling out into the marketplace. Well, this helps keep comic stores open. It helps, prevent fans from just getting tired of comics and walking away from them. And when Diamond is able to return in 3 months, it means it's more likely that that market is still going to exist. It's weird to think like that because at times you could be Diamond and you could be saying, well, yeah, but then somebody's taking money from my pie. I'm able to collect 100% of the revenue in scenario number one, and in scenario number two, I'm only able to collect 50% of that revenue. Let's say that's possible. It's definitely possible that scenario you would be making less money if there's competition, but the strength to the market you're selling into is much stronger with more people. Single points of failure are bad for everyone. On top of that, when you have competition, it also drives you to do things that are typically healthier for your business. Modernization becomes more imperative because you're in competition. You need to make sure that you're shipping good things. You've got an ordering system that's new and people like it. And if you don't invest in any of that stuff, your competitors are going to come along and take your business out from under you. So having competitors means you're more likely to stay on your toes. It means you're more likely to protect yourself from kind of random events coming in. If DC had not solicited UCS and Lunar and had just kind of left it to their own devices and just stuck it out with Diamond, it's not like competition would never enter. You could make a very, very strong argument that Scholastic and other sources were already chipping away at Diamond's business. And Scholastic's ordering system, their content management system, their overall point of sale, everything that goes into that is, again, these aren't apples to apples. It's a slightly different system, but it's much better. Having seen it, having worked with it, having talked to people through it, the Scholastic system is actually very modern, very new. And it's a smart business will look at that and go, hey, these guys aren't exactly in our space, but we should make sure that we're learning from the best in breed, the best people who are selling product. We should make sure that we're gearing our products to be just as good as some of the best people in the industry, even if they don't compete with us. That's a smart thing to do, but a lot of businesses don't do that unless they're pushed to. They tend to ignore it. They tend to go, well, it's expensive to change. And if I don't have to change, I won't. That's how people typically, behave. Is that good business? No. Does it come back to hurt people? Almost always. But that doesn't mean people do the right thing. Typically, they don't. Typically, they will, shirk that responsibility and they'll kind of ignore obvious areas where they should improve because, it's hard work. It's costly. So for those two reasons alone, having competition is a good thing. Is it painful? Sure. If you're a shop that's used to doing things a certain way, a pain in the butt, no question about it. It's not pleasant to have to make these changes, but it's good for you. It's like taking your medicine. You don't necessarily want to, but you should. And that's how a lot of this, that's how a lot of this fits. And so, in many ways, the other way to look at this is competition, and these things are going to happen one way or another, whether you like it or not. Change occurs. So you can choose to, pretend that it's never going to happen. You can choose to ignore it and close your eyes and hope that, your competitors just magically go away. Or you can be smart about it. You can accept the inevitable and know that, competition can be a positive for your business if you just manage it and work it that way. That's the better path. Unfortunately, sometimes that's easier said than done. But hopefully, everything I just said, I think, is common sense. But maybe it hasn't been stated just so simply, so plainly in the past. But this is why competition is good. This is why having more distributors could wind up helping Diamond in the long run and make them a stronger company. But overall, it's definitely better for comics. Even if there's some pain, even if there's some stupid things, even if Lunar or UCS do some truly horrible things and screw up too, more competition is better than none. What do you think? Leave a comment below, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter or Facebook at Comic Perch, and thanks for listening.